Hey, all right. Hi, everyone. My name is Valerie Friedlander, and I'm your host for Motherhood Unlimited, the #1 summit for moms who want it all. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. It is our mission to take the limits off motherhood and empower moms to have it all for their own unique and vibrant life. We believe that when moms learn to create where, who, and how they want to be, their happiness and overall life satisfaction increases, and they become inspired and inspirational for their children and each other. Today, we are talking about creating a band of mothers. Our experts are Shayna and her sidekick, MC Dula, aka Tracey T. I invited them to share with you because I love their work, helping moms connect around this crazy journey of motherhood through their talents of music and humor. So thank you so much for being here, ladies.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, excited to be here.
I can't even tell you how excited I am. But before we get started, let me tell everyone a little bit about you. So Shayna and Tracey have been friends since the 8th grade. After college, they each moved to separate coasts for a decade. They were reunited when they decided to leave the big city life and settle down with their families in Denver, Colorado. And Facebook told them that their daughters are 3 weeks apart. After several playdates, some more childbirth, some unsuccessful pumping, and the overwhelming nature of mommy community boards, the pump and dump was born. So for those of you who don't know, and if you don't know, you really should know, one of the few times that I will should on you, the Pump and Dump, a parentally incorrect comedy show and night out for once, is a raucous evening of comedy and music designed for parents to laugh away a kid-filled day while throwing back a few and remembering who we all were before we had children. Shayna and Tracey are about to kick off their final portion of the Year of the Mother National Tour. They are also twice monthly contributors to thebump.com and have been featured in Parents Magazine, HuffPost Parents, and Scary Mommy. So thank you again so much, ladies, for being here.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
You sound much better than we feel.
I know, you make it feel like we're not in like workout clothes.
I know.
Yeah, right? Well, you look
They
fabulous.
do it all in leisure wear. All of that in leisure wear.
Hey, you know what? I think I have loved the whole movement towards like incorporating the more leisure wear into like the professional wear thing that's happening right now. Like I have a friend who's doing LuLaRoe stuff, and I'm just like, leggings, please? Yes.
Always.
I'm sure in 40 years we'll all look back on this time and our daughters will be like, oh, Mom, why would you wear that? But right now I'm totally down with the trends for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So my first question to experts, and I'm going to put it to you all, is tell us about your journey to taking the limits off of motherhood.
I would say that the Pump and Dump was born, pardon the pun, from, literally genuinely needing a night out. When we started the show, our kids were super, super little. My son, I think, was like 4 weeks old when we had the idea. And so, we were in the throes of pumping and breastfeeding and new motherhood, which is challenging in itself. And what I found was that when I would reach out to the community in my own way, which was, in my isolation, just like read online, community threads.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking, gosh, everyone just needs a night out. I think we're all just really worked up, which is natural, but and I've been a comedian for a long time, so I was like, how can I create a space for us just to like laugh this out for a little bit? So we started in a bar in Northwest Denver. The very first show, we put some signs up in the neighborhood and we ended up having like 75 moms show up. So it was obviously like a needed thing. And that's kind of how it started. It really became a place where we didn't have to talk about which, child lock was the best one or which baby gets to buy or, like all of the parenting questions and doubts and insecurities and stresses could kind of all come into one place, and we were kind of this pressure gauge. And so I think that's really what the Pump and Dump has become, is a pressure gauge for every kind of mom to be in the same space and laugh about the things we actually all have in common. And the thing that we've found just from touring, and the thing that we now know is the thing we all really have in common, is that it's really hard and no one talks about it. So, hey, it's hard for me, it's hard for you. We're all doing this every day. You know, it's a great discovery. It makes you feel a lot better.
And I think, you know, so that's like one way to take off the limits of motherhood, is just to laugh about it all together and admit that we're all in this together. I think personally and even professionally, having started this show, you know, those early days when you just like, you kind of don't even remember how you functioned, how you fed your family, how you got it done. And we just started doing the show. Like, I honestly don't remember driving to the bar and like being in the show. And then it evolved. And, you know, I remember when I was pregnant, someone, a business owner, there was a mom said, you'll be so surprised at what you're able to do once you have a kid. And I always remember it was like some of the best advice I ever got. She's like, you will be able to do more now than you ever did before, because you have to. And I think for us,
You have no choice.
we have no choice. And then all of a sudden, a year and a half later, we're leaving our families. We're traveling across the country. We're doing 2 shows a month here. The job is becoming more and more full-time, all while we're raising our children. I think it's proof that when you love something deeply and believe in it, and people believe in you, you can do anything you want. And so I think I would have never thought, and we don't have to go to a traditional office, and we're very lucky for that, but I would have never thought that I would have been able to weave in like being the mom that I always wanted to be, while also being gone almost every week for months and months at a time. So I think, you know, in terms of limits of motherhood, I think that this show has proven to me that you can do it if you put your mind to it.
And she doesn't mean you're not gone for weeks and weeks. We go like for 1 or 2 days and then we're back. It sounded like you were gone for months.
Yeah.
It's so amazing how those children.
I'm the absent mother I always wanted to be.
She's so sweet every 4 weeks when I see her. No, Jada. But I never thought I'd be, you know, TSA pre-check going to the airport so many times, where you like know the people who serve your coffee. So, you know, I think those are the limits that before you have kids, or while you're pregnant, you think there's no way I'm going to be able to do this and that. And, you know, it's not easy, but there is a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what I've seen so many times, is if you have a passion, and like being an entrepreneur is definitely like having another baby.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, it's like, it seems so easy. Like when you have a kid, of course, this is what you're going to do. It's expected, but then to do something different, it's like as though we can do that, but we can't do more than that. And it's, yeah, you actually can. It's just, how imaginative can you be? How creative can you be? You know? And I love that coming from you guys with this massive amount of creativity already like rocking. So, but yeah, what you said about, you know, how hard it is. I was watching one of your videos before a couple of your videos before we got on, just to kind of reconnect and stuff. And I always want to like laugh and cry at the same time, because it's so true. All of that stuff. And I particularly loved, and it ties into your current tour of You're the Mom, of like, you're an awesome mom. And that one in particular, like, really hit me. There's some other ones that, like the hotel room by myself, like anytime I go out on a trip or something, that one is totally like, oh, how amazing just to have a room by myself. And it's a little different when it's a work trip, but still, you know, I definitely.
Our work trips we share hotel rooms, so we still have never gotten that for ourselves.
No. maybe we really hope you all get that.
But the next step is a hotel room with your best friend, and I think that's just fine too. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the pillow fight works a little bit better when you have your best friend there, right?
For sure. We've had some clubs offer to give. Do you each want your own hotel room? And we're like, oh, no, that'd be weird.
No.
Yeah. Well, and so again, that also ties into that whole, like, the band of mothers and creating that band of mothers. So tell us a little bit about that.
So, you know, we took a long look at our show kind of, and we've always been asking ourselves, like, you know, why are we doing this? What does it mean? You know, I think it's always good when you have a business to have a greater purpose than just the core business. I think it just keeps you motivated and keeps you focused in a way that, that just looking at, you know, the bottom line or, you know, sort of material benchmarks doesn't. And so, you know, we've always said that this show is A, not necessarily about us, and B, it's not really kid bashing. It's not really man bashing or husband bashing or partner bashing. It's really about how effed up and ridiculous parenting is. And the one thing that we believe in is that it's this one time where everyone can get together in a room, and it doesn't matter if you know, only did cloth diapers or, you know, never tried a cloth diaper or breastfeed or didn't breastfeed. It doesn't matter. You can still laugh about parenting. And that's what keeps us motivated for the show. And then just looking as moms at the mess of stuff that's out there, the mass information online, all the blogs, good and bad, you know, the trolls, the non-trolls, all the different things, all the choices you're expected to make, all the types of parenting you're supposed to be. And we just don't really want to be a part of any of that.
And we're also not experts on parenting.
No, at all. We're just parents.
We're parents.
Yeah. So, you know, we thought, what if we just took a year and just dedicated it to just getting along and saying, you know what, you do you, I'll do me. You're still trying to do the best you can. And that's the most important thing, is that we just love our children and keep them safe, you know, and healthy. And so we just thought, let's just call it Year of the Mother. Let's forget everything like that and all of those things. And let's just high five each other and slap each other on the butts and tell each other that we're doing a good job, rather than just being like, oh, that's a shame that you.
But we also realize that, like, when someone tells you that you're doing a good job as a mom, you do not forget it. Like, and you don't hear it often enough.
But most importantly, another mother. You never forget it if another mom tells you that you're doing a good job.
And so we started, a couple years ago, we started this thing during our show where we have everyone take out their cell phones and text another mom that they're doing a great job. So we had already sort of created this movement. And then as the show has evolved, we started to meet more and more moms and talk to them after the shows and hear more stories and kind of see these groups get bigger. You know, a girl would, I shouldn't call a woman a girl, but a mom a girl. So a woman would come with her sister, and then she would come back with 10 friends, you know, so you would really kind of see these bonds built around the show. And it started to evolve in that way, and we realized that that's really what the show has become about. So in creating the Year of the Mother, in 2016 being the Year of the Mother, because we had a tour that started in January and we knew we'd continue this fall, that we just wanted to kind of declare something. We kind of came up, you know, I think there's, you know, people use the hashtag, and we kind of declared Band of Mothers. We thought that it was a great way to look at the sisterhood of being a mom. And
so we also made and then we have, like, you know, some sort of things to go along with it. Like, we made these mom karma cards. They're just little cards that say you're an awesome mom, and we hand them out at every show for people just to give out to other moms. And we just love the idea of these sort of random acts of kindness from mom to mom, that, you know, instead of just rolling your eyes at the mom who has a kid who's having a tantrum at the grocery store, like, just go give her a card and tell her, I get it. Good luck. You know, good luck getting that.
You don't say anything. It just says, you're an awesome mom. You're doing a great job. You got this.
You got it. Yeah.
And you just hand it to her.
And it makes a huge difference. And, you know, we would love that if someone did that to us. So why wouldn't other people? So that's really what this year's about. Certainly, it's not going to end after this year. You know, and the Band of Mothers is important for us.
We have wristbands we give out at all the shows. We're kind of trying to create, like, a, you know,
just to remind, you know, wear the wristband, just remember that you're part of this tribe and that they're your sisters, not your enemies.
And we hear that a lot too from. So funny, I keep looking here. Which way? The top one, right?
Yeah. The camera. It's like, oh, I'm really looking at you.
Sorry. We hear a lot from moms who come to the show that, like, they sat down, everyone's, you know, people come in early and they start drinking and they're there with their girlfriends. And that really, that's one of the things they notice first, is that they look around and they realize, oh my gosh, these are all my tribe. These are moms. And it happened to us, I think, so we do a dance party and Mother's Day huge show every year. It's like our big celebration here in Denver. Nice. And the first dance party, I just remember looking around and looking at all these moms just dancing. And gosh, how often do you get to do that? But just, it was like, look at all these, we're all moms. Look at us. We are all dancing. Like no one's felt this good in so long. Like I remember when my kids were so little, I finally, or someone like touched my head in a tender way. And I remember being like, I just needed to be touched. Like we just
not groped.
Not groped.
Yeah, not groped. Yeah.
You know, nobody's
not grabbed.
Nobody's touching my boobs for like an hour. It's like, it's just an unbelievable, thing that we don't take the time for. So we give an hour and a half of it. And we hope that through the Band of Mothers movement and through the Year of the Mother that it can spread outside of the space of our show.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally believe in that you need to have it be a passion. And it is, I mean, when you're connected to your purpose, it is bigger than you. And it does make anything possible, like children and, you know, a business and a show and stuff like that. And I love what you're saying about that connection, because it's like all of that judgment out there is just like we take it on because we already judging ourselves so much.
Yeah, so
and
bad.
That's one of the things, you know, I see so much as a coach is like, you know, oh, they're judging me, but it's like, it's actually because it's reflecting that inner critic that we already have. So to be in a space where you're surrounded by what you know is connecting, and laughter is like one of the most connecting things to connect.
The one thing we're really proud of too is we always say like we're a lo-fi business in a hi-fi world. You know, we just don't go to shows anymore. People don't even really go to movies anymore. You know, and there's power in being physically next to people, strangers essentially, and laughing together that is lost in our culture right now. And you know, there's so much awesome entertainment on, you know, videos and different things that people are doing online, and that's great, but it's so insular. And, you know, we love that our show is very physical. It's live human people, breathing people together. And we just forget that when you get together and talk to each other, we're all quite lovely and everyone has something nice. It's just easy to forget that with the screen in front of you.
Yeah. And to forget that within ourselves, you know, that we're capable of that, not just like,
you don't have to just walk around with your gloves on all the time.
And you're not the only one, like what you were saying a minute ago about being our worst critics. So we take, I mean, and where we find the humor in the Pump and Dump is that we take the things that we are hard on ourselves about. We take the moments, we call them awesome moments, where we've just been like really shitty moms, you know, like, and we laugh about them because everyone has had that moment. Like, who is perfect all the time? None of us. And so that's the stuff we're laughing at. And for people to release that, and for people to see that like they are not the only person who ever like lifted their baby into the air and hit their head on a ceiling fan, you know, like it has happened to all of us, you know. And so that kind of stuff is so great to just get out of when it's just living inside of you. I mean, maybe I'm a ceiling fan example, but you know, there's plenty of times where I lose my temper, where I feel like I'm the worst mom on earth, and I'm not. I'm so hard on myself. So, you know, I think that's such a big part of it.
Yeah, it's remembering, and one of the things that, the feelings aren't facts. It's just a feeling. It's something that happened. What am I going to do with it now is one of the big things that I look at. And you do what to know.
I'm going to tell you, I love you.
That was really,
I know, right? It changes everything, because it's like, if you think of emotions as energy moving through you, you have to let it move through, because if you hold on to it, it's just gonna like weigh you down, and like you're gonna feel like crap. So being able to laugh or cry, you know, and let it out, or both, you know, like me watching your videos.
That's okay.
That actually opens us up to be able to take that, like, all right, now what do I want to do with this? Like, what did I learn from it? Because we keep talking to kids, like, all right, so what did you learn? You know, but like, are we doing that with ourselves? Like, okay, that really sucked. I feel crappy. Now, what did I learn about that? You know?
I always think that, like, you know, I always sort of like making mistakes or coming up against a problem, because then I'm just like, well, okay, that's data that we can apply towards moving forward. And if that didn't happen, then we wouldn't know this new thing. And, you know, to not necessarily look at hardships or mistakes as something bad, and, a barrier that you can't get past, but like, okay, great. Now I'm that much smarter for the next time, you know?
We're not really barrier people, Tracey and I. We're kind of like, oh, really? Yeah. That doesn't work? All right, I'm going to go under the loop.
Yeah, well, there is that.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Next, you're going to say that no is a complete sentence. I heard that.
It is.
It's a good one. A good one.
This has been a fabulous conversation.
I know, I need some more coffee.
So much better.
Yeah, how many other great little like nuggets can we throw into one interview? I think.
Life is a journey, not a destination. Okay,
that's a good one. Okay, all right, yeah. Well, I that whole idea of it is of life being an opportunity, though. You know, instead of like this block, tapping into your creativity, like what you all do of taking, you know. I particularly love the fact that you all are doing something where when you hit a block like that, it's like, oh, this is an opportunity to do a comedy routine or write a song, or, you know, like that's kind of nice, I have to say.
But you know what? If you're not, it's interesting. We obviously do something super unique, and it's very weird when I have to tell people what my job is. I mean, it's an odd thing that we do. We host and produce a comedy show that travels around the country. It's like very strange, but you know, 100% of my girlfriends are moms and nurses and lawyers and secretaries and own a retail shop, and you know what I mean? And these people are doing just as hard of a job at being a mom and balancing or stay at home, which is to me the ultimate hardest job on earth. You know, and so everybody, you know, you look around the room at a pump and dump show and everybody has a different obstacle, a different thing that they're balancing every single day. And we're kind of crazy and go and created this thing. But you know, the day-to-day of being a mom and balancing anything, just being a mom and balancing getting time to take a shower is a big enough challenge, you know? So, you know, I just wanted to say that because I, you know, have absolute respect for moms that have to just do normal things every day, you know?
Well, I mean, what's normal? I mean, we were never normal in the 8th grade, and we're not normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, it's funny, like, you know, my mom looking at me and my sister and our generation is always just so impressed that the one good thing about this day and age is that, you know, women, especially mothers, have evolved, and we are allowed to do more than just be a mom. Mm-hmm. And she's just always like, all of you, everyone you know has a thing, you know, even if they're have an Etsy shop, or they're writing on the side, or they're like
yoga teacher,
or they're a yoga teacher, exactly, or they're running triathlons or whatever. Like, everyone has a thing. You know, most people, we're really free to explore our passions and ourselves in a way that our parents didn't have that. And, you know, it's funny because I think she's just a little bit jealous that, you know, my mom just never really felt that opportunity. And so I'm grateful that we live in a day and age where, you know, generally speaking, our partners have evolved to be supportive rather than hold us down. And those are all things that put into place being able to unleash the best part of you because of the support system, not even just in the home, but just society. And so we're lucky that we can do this now, and people are like, yeah, that's cool, you know. And
that's a good point. I mean, we actually get a lot of grandmas at the show too. And they always tell us, like, I wish I had something like this when I was a young mom, because there, for a long time, it wasn't okay to talk about how hard I was, you know, like it couldn't be hard. You know, they just drank it away. My mom would put me in the
and that produced a whole other thing, but
no, but you know, it's there. We've evolved so much as moms in that sense that we can actually recognize that we have feelings and lives, and that we were women before we were moms, and so there's complicated things going on that we have to, you know, deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love and you're an awesome mom song talking about you know, it's hard and then it's easy, and then it's hard and then it's easy. And I've had friends who have babies who are like, does this get any easier? And I was like, yeah. Yes. And it gets hard again because they keep growing. It's like this unique relation. You're unique. You're a unique person. They're a unique person, and your relationship is continuing to evolve. It's like you're actually like letting go of this old relationship with this person, and then developing a new relationship with the same person constantly.
Another great piece of advice I got early on was a girlfriend of mine said, every 6 months you get a new kid.
Yeah.
It kept me going through those phases where almost to the day, it's like, oh, so you're done with that. And now you're doing this crazy thing that I don't understand.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, totally. So, yeah, and I see like this opportunity, all right, I had this hardship, it's this opportunity to connect with another mom, even at its very smallest or even biggest, really, of like, this is an opportunity to connect with another person because somebody else has gone through the same thing that I have.
Sure.
And the big thing of creating that band of mothers is, I see it as like connecting. It's that knowing that you're not alone, because it's so isolating. I think you mentioned that too. Like, it can feel so isolating, but just knowing, again, that's not a fact. It just feels that way right now. And what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah, that's true. And it's interesting, it's weird. We're all unique and we all have a unique parenting experience, but then so much of it, there's so many commonalities to parenting as well. It's very, it's weird. Like, we're the same and different all the time.
And even if you're, we know people, we call them natural born breeders. So there's women who are just really good at it, and just really like, their bodies were good at it. Their births were easy. Their pregnancies were easy. They have 5 children. It is a piece of, nothing's ever a piece of cake, but what I mean is they're just natural born breeders. And so even they have things that if it hasn't happened to them, they can understand just by being a part of the community,
Yes.
like, trying to think of an example, but
at some point everyone has to potty train their kids, at some point everyone's had a sleepless night, everyone's been thrown up in their mouth,
and like
those
you
things
said,
do not
it's all
change.
how you deal with it, right? So the natural born breeders are like, oh, just chaos, just embrace the chaos, and then there's someone like me that's like, you're never putting on a diaper again, like, and we all kind of have, it's the same experience, but it's just completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had a really easy birth, and then afterwards everything kind of went to shit. So I was like, what just happened? So, I thought I was rocking it. It was 3.5 hours. This is awesome. I'm going to be fabulous. And then, no, not at all. So it's that, absolutely, knowing that, and I think it does, like what you're talking about is that the attitude of, okay, this sucks. Now what am I going to do with it? Like, it's the ability to kind of move through it. And I find that the more I can do that, the easier it is. But yet, I mean, that isn't necessarily a natural thing either. It's just, it's a practice. I'm definitely not a little kid person, but I can learn the things that will help me for me.
Right.
In that relationship. So yeah.
Recognize your limits and then work backwards.
It's right. That it's shitty sometimes, and I think that's such a big part of our message too. Like, it's okay that you're not, like, we always talk about like the 6 a.m. getting everybody ready, breastfeeding one, the other one's throwing a tantrum. Like, who on earth is thinking like, oh, what a wonderful day? Like, nobody, even the natural born breeders. Like, there's no way. It's impossible. So, just even being able to recognize that your existence, like, is so different than it was before children, that you would never in a million years be up at 6 a.m. taking care of 4 people versus like, it's just the recognition that life is different. Let's mourn it. Let's not in a bad way. I just mean like, recognize that it's different. Realize what you're doing is hard. Know that and feel accomplished in the fact that you're raising humans. We say that a lot too. You're like raising a human being.
It's a totally different thing, and it is important. I totally agree with that. Of like, so many people, I felt guilty thinking, mourning, missing that previous life. I was like, what's wrong with me? I thought I really wanted this, and I'm really, really sad about missing it. But it's like, it's a transition. When you let go of something, it makes sense that it would be hard. It's like, remembering that whatever you're feeling is normal for you. It's like, yeah, there's no like normal, like across the board static normal. It's like, what is normal for you? So.
And it doesn't mean that you weren't ready or that that part of your life, you're not happy you're in this part of your life. It just means like, oh my gosh.
At that one moment, it's okay to just to admit that it's not glowy sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, absolutely. Though I always keep the unicorn. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm a unicorn person. I always have been. So, they say unicorns and rainbows. Not all unicorns, rainbows and unicorns or whatever. I'm like, no, it's always unicorns.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Yeah, as always. But I never thought I'd be so calm, covered in somebody else's bodily fluids.
Oh, yeah.
But it definitely wasn't something like, yeah, I really was looking forward to that. That was good.
But just think about how great it is once they stop puking on you, and it's like all of a sudden you just have clean clothes all the time.
I can't even tell you how happy I was when my son finally figured out that he should go to the toilet when he felt like he needed to puke.
I have a puker son too. It's right. Yeah, but that's a big change.
Yeah.
So I had a reflux projectile daughter for just a year of just nothing but this whole part was just just wet always. Anything I was
smell
wearing.
the smell when you talk about it, like that smell.
It occurs to me, we really should make mommy bibs. They make kid bibs, but mommy bib. We have the burp cloth, but it doesn't really cut it. It's here.
I love your suggestion. I think it would just make me even more sad cake. Just to have to walk around wearing a fucking bib.
Well, it's a style thing, we're embracing the leggings. We'll get the style of the mommy smock.
You call me when you come out with that.
When that catches on, yeah, probably not.
I like where you're going though.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are actually coming right up on the end of our time, which I'm gonna cry about too.
Why not end on mommy bibs?
We could talk forever though. We're chatty.
Well, it started off at my bachelorette party about glow-in-the-dark tampons, and now I'm talking about mommy bibs. So, it's like...
You're just a wealth of ideas.
So many ideas.
Unicorn.
I'm not sure. I can't say that was my idea. I think it was a community idea. Some of the best ideas come in community, I think.
Sure, and tequila.
Yeah, and tequila. Tequila also. Yeah. Anyway, so just to recap, what would you want the people who are listening, the moms who are listening to, the top 2-3 things you would want them to take away from our time together?
Oh, well, first of all, they should come to a show. They should absolutely come to a show.
If we're coming to a city, come to a show.
Yeah. Second.
Oh, we didn't even talk about our mom gifts.
Yeah.
So we have something called the Pump It Up Shop. So we a couple years ago, we realized that moms, in telling each other they're awesome, should also give each other awesome things. So we have at the pumpitupshop.com a bunch of really cute t-shirts that say breeder. One says cry it out. One says mom like nobody's watching. We have some fun. We've got breeder necklaces. Really gorgeous breeder necklaces.
Mm-hmm.
We just think it's kind of back to the Band of Mothers thing. They're just fun ways to just sort of remind yourself that you're part of the tribe and be proud of it and laugh about it. And when we say breeder, we mean all kinds of moms. It doesn't matter if you adopted or did IVF or had surrogate or foster,
but don't steal babies.
Don't steal babies. But besides that, you're a breeder in our book.
You're raising
you're raising a human. Yeah.
And the third thing I would say is to call Valerie for coaching.
Seriously. I wish you were around when I was having enough COVID.
I promise not to try and suggest any weird devices.
Oh, bring it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
And it will save your life.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys, for being here today. It's been a real pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
Likewise.
It's great to talk to you.
Thank you to the audience for watching, and as a reminder to everyone, the email that you were sent for this video will also have a link to their site where you can connect and see some of their free videos that they have up there and the shop they were just talking about and all of that fun stuff. So I will have that link is in the email that you received for this. So, and this concludes today's interview for Motherhood Unlimited. And thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Shayna and Tracey. And be sure to tune in tomorrow for another exciting, inspirational, and helpful interview from Motherhood Unlimited. And I look forward to having you all with us.
We will be there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.